Hi, this is Fern G. Carr, website www.ferngzcarr.com. Here is my National Volunteer Week interview. On April 19, 2017, my husband and I were pleased to have been interviewed on Shaw TV in conjunction with National Volunteer Week. At that time, I was serving as president and board chair of Project Literacy Kelowna Society, now Project Literacy Central Okanagan Society. While I am no longer affiliated with the board, my husband continues to be a longtime tutor there. As a poet and writer, I believe that there's not only a link between literature and literacy, but also to a multitude of disciplines. I feel so fortunate to have been able to volunteer with Project Literacy and very much appreciate Shaw TV spotlighting the wonderful assistance that this organization provides for free. Enjoy the video clip.
Hi, I'm Burleigh Tanney, and this is Where You Live. And this is National Volunteer Week, and so we're going to be talking with some volunteers here in Kelowna. And today we're speaking with Fern and Alex Carr, who are with Project Literacy. So how long have you lived in Kelowna?
We've lived in Kelowna for almost 18 years.
Okay, great. And where did you come from?
Winnipeg.
Oh, yes. Okay, great. And why do you volunteer with Project Literacy? What brought you to that organization?
It was mentioned to me by a colleague of mine when I finished teaching. I taught in Winnipeg for 32 years, in Kelowna for 5. Retired, had to do something, and this was the best around.
Great. And Fern?
Well, my husband was involved with Project Literacy prior to my involvement, and he was so enthusiastic about it, I thought I better check this out. And I wound up becoming so involved that, as I mentioned to you before, I'm currently the president and chair of the board of directors for the organization.
So what drew you to Project Literacy?
I think that literacy and numeracy are so intrinsic to our society, and there's a certain level of illiteracy in the population that really goes unnoticed. It's swept under the carpet. For example, we had a person who came down to Project Literacy who was an office manager. She was used to interacting with her employees. Nobody had any idea that she wasn't able to read the documents. You know, it's always the question of, I don't have my glasses. Oh, can you just read this for me? Yes. Whatever. There are parents who aren't able to go to parent-teacher interviews to interact with the teachers. There are people who can't go to the bank to make a deposit, people who are afraid to take the bus. So.
Wow, didn't realize that. Well, actually I did. I knew that those were some of the circumstances of some people.
Right.
And so it's so important to be able to have an organization like yours to be able to help these folks. So how many people do you have?
In terms of volunteers, we've already, I think, hit our 150th volunteer, before Canada's sesquicentennial birthday. And we serve approximately about 400 learners per year, but we've been doing this for 30 years, and we've served in the thousands, I think over 6,000 people so far.
Wow, that's incredible. How many volunteers do you have?
Well, so the volunteers are about 150 because it's fluid. It just depends.
Okay. And how long does it take to get somebody from not being able to read to be able to read and be able to sign documents and sign their name and things like that?
Do you want to answer that one as a tutor?
How long does it take?
It's not all that common to get people from the local area to learn how to improve their reading skills. We do have that, but it varies as to the abilities of both the learner and the tutor.
And the tutor, okay.
And the tutor, for the most part, we do ESL.
Which is?
Which is English as a second language for new Canadians.
Okay.
And that's primarily what I do, but I also teach math and physics.
Oh, okay. And this is to help people in order for them to get better jobs or to get a job?
That to upgrade their qualifications is one reason. I had one young lady from Wales who had moved to Canada and wanted to be a teacher, but she couldn't hack the math.
Oh,
If you asked her about math, she would tremble.
Yes.
So I helped her for about a year and a half, and she wrote the entrance exam and got an 82%, went into the education faculty at UBCO, and is now a teacher herself. and tutors math herself.
Oh my goodness.
And that's some of the rewards that you get, the feedback that you get.
That's wonderful.
It's better than money.
It is, isn't it? It certainly is. Great. And Fern?
And I was going to say that a lot of people associate our organization with just one-on-one tutoring, you know, and it's also free of charge, by the way. But
good. That's good to know.
Yes, but there's more to it than that. We also have several outreach programs. So one of them is a program whereby we help parents and children who are refugees to Canada. We have another one where it's another program, Bond to Literacy, where parents are taught skills so that they can in turn teach their children, so that their children who are, I guess, perhaps about 3, 4, and 5 years of age can experience success in school. We have another program coming up. It's thanks to a grant by the federal government, whereby seniors will be getting tutoring as to how do you use your iPad, your iPhone, how do you use the computer.
Oh,
so there are all
great.
kinds of very practical, valuable programs that Project Literacy offers.
And is there an age limit for, or do you take young children as well, all the way up to seniors?
It starts at age 19.
19.
Age
Okay.
19, yes.
And I have a new student that I haven't met yet, who's from Argentina, and she's 80 years old.
Oh, wonderful. And how do people get a hold of you? Do you have a website or?
We do have a website, projectliteracykelowna.org, and also we invite people to come down to the office.
Which is
Which is 1635 Bertram,
Yep.
just down the block from Safeway. And check us out on Facebook, social media, Twitter. You know, a lot of people do associate us with ESL, and from time to time I have had the pleasure of popping into the office, you know, and interacting with these people. And currently, as a student of Mandarin Chinese, I know what it's like to be in a situation where you want to express yourself, you know what you want to say, but you're just a little bit apprehensive because you don't want to end up looking silly or you feel self-conscious. So that's why I always make a point of, you know, when I do meet somebody who is in a situation like that, just really trying to be very welcoming, understanding, and that's what the tutors do. And everyone, the staff at Project Literacy is amazing, and there's a real sense of openness and welcoming, and don't be afraid to make a mistake. Just come in, enjoy, learn, and it's just a real love of learning.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for telling us about Project Literacy and for your enthusiasm and excitement about being part of Project Literacy itself.
Thank you very much for having us.
Great to meet you and continue on the great work.
Likewise. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Acknowledgements. Footage license for Where We Live video segment kindly provided by Shaw Spotlight. For more information about Project Literacy Central Okanagan Society, please visit their website and YouTube channel. Thanks very much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to like and please be sure to subscribe. Thanks again and stay tuned for a new video every Wednesday.